Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new day of Road to TCG Worlds 2017. This is the last pre-recorded video I have for you guys. Tomorrow we will have a Brazil analysis, but as you guys are seeing this, I am flying back to Mexico, or arriving back in Mexico in the early hours. So that's why I had to pre-record this, and that's why I don't know at this point in time how I did in Brazil, because this is past Pablo speaking to you, but now is the future as you are hearing this, so it's weird. But anyways, yesterday we featured Quad Yveltal, which I used to win a League Cup. Today we are seeing Quad Lapras with a single Wobbuffet, which we did feature not so long ago, but this is a very different, not a very different version, but it's a significantly different version from the one we analyzed earlier, from the Malmo, from the Sweden regional. So this deck is more focused. It's not going to attack too often. It will, but not too often. It's more focused on running your opponent out of resources, and after you've done that, you either win by deck out, or that's when you finally are able to truck along and start taking prizes with the Lapras-GX. So how do you accomplish this? Well, you have your 4 Crushing Hammers, you have your 2 Enhanced Hammers, you have 4 Puzzle of Time to reuse those cards, and things like 4 Team Flare Grunt, 2 Team Skull Grunt, and possibly Lysander to make it so that your opponent has to retreat, pay energy to retreat. You get back, like with the Puzzle of Time, you're pretty much guaranteed to win the Stadium War with Rough Seas and 4 Puzzle of Time. So the healing on your Laprases becomes really important. You also have Olympia. So yeah, there's a lot of things you can do with this deck to run your opponent out of. And by resources, I mean energy. If you run your opponent out of energy, you're pretty much good to go. So that's the idea behind this deck, to just withstand the hits, take the hits, and slowly but surely whittle away your opponent. And now, how do you do this without putting any pressure? Like, if you're using Team Flare Grunt or Team Skull Grunt, you're not using Sycamore, you're not using N to draw more cards, but you do get access to Collect. Collect, draw 3 cards for a single water energy. That's the key to this deck success. You're able to use support cards such as the Team Flare Grunts and the Skull Grunts and the Delinquents and the Hex Maniacs and the Lysanders, and you still get card advantage thanks to Lapras' attack. And if you have a 190 HP or with the Fighting Fury belt 230 HP monster doing that, it's very unlikely your opponent will one-hit KO the Lapras, and you get to keep using Collect to prevent, and healing through Rough Seas to prevent your opponent from knocking your Laprases out. And it doesn't really matter if your opponent goes down to 1 prize card, because as long as you run them out of resources, you'll surely win eventually. Because you can start attaching, you can start powering up a Lapras. It's a very slow process because you don't, like, one of my complaints about the previous Quad Lapras deck was that it only had 2 max elixirs, and now this one has none. So probably best case scenario is a turn 3 attack, or the more likely one is a turn 4 attack with a Lapras, and that's even if you want to attack. There are many games where you just want to use your other cards, use your hammers and use your grunts, and leave a Lapras with a single energy, and your benched Laprases as well, so that you're not punished heavily by a Mewtwo. It's harder for them to knock you out. You're not punished heavily by an Yveltal or a Lugia, and therefore you can still heal significant damage, prevent prize cards, and just keep chipping away at your opponent's resources. The Wobbuffet is in there to prevent item lock, because item lock does shut down this deck pretty badly. Although with just the one Wobbuffet, I don't know how likely it is that you'll find it every time against the CDI Valplum, but it is there and it's a good resource to have. So that's the deck. Not too much else to say. It has 4 N and 3 Sycamore instead of 4 Sycamore and 3 N. That's because you're not going to be taking prizes early on with this deck. It's a very slow and methodical deck, so every time you N, if your opponent has taken down 1 or 2 Lapras-GX, you can punish them, and you're going to be drawing 6 cards pretty much the whole time. So let's jump into the ladder, hopefully for some 2 good games. games with this deck do tend to be a lot slower. So if game 1 does drag for too long, it might just be one game per this video. We are up against either Yveltal or Turbo Dark, one of those two, so I'm glad to showcase those matchups. They should be good matchups for Lapras, honestly they really should be, because of all your energy denial. They'll rarely be hitting big numbers, and then you get to heal off the damage. And there's also another play where you can Rough Seas heal, then Delinquent, and then play another Rough Seas and heal once again. So that's pretty cool. And then with Olympia, that's almost up to 90 damage healing for you. Now we do get to go first. We do mulligan a ton with this deck. So we do see Olympia, Experience Share, and Escape Rope. So that indicates it's Turbo Dark and not Yveltal, especially the Experience Share. And wow. We get the double Sycamore, double versus Seeker, which tends to be our favorite, and we get the Wobbuffet start. We don't get the Lapras start. So Wobbuffet also allows us to play a 7 price card game, which is really good for this deck, because it's already annoying to knock out one Lapras, and now, I mean, yeah, one Lapras, they have to knock out 3 and a Wobbuffet. So it's essentially like having an extra 110 HP on your Laprases. So I top deck the Switch, which I did not want to discard, and another Fighting Fury Belt. Both of those cards are definitely not cards I would have liked to discard. And that Wobbuffet is just gonna stay there for a while. Losing the Switch is okay, losing the Verse Seekers really sucks. But especially losing the Fighting Fury Belt is really bad. The last Fighting Fury Belt is priced, so that's not a good scenario. There's actually 3 energy priced, so there's one Fighting Fury Belt, 3 energy priced, and what else is priced? One Sycamore, no, not one Sycamore, and one Rough Seas, yeah, one Rough Seas, and one Crushing Hammer. So that's our 6 price cards. The 3 energy, I guess that's best case scenario, as long as we can keep finding energy. But yeah, it's gonna be a slow game. This one is going to be a really slow game. There's a turn 1 Hoopa. My opponent can't Shaman, but he can Hoopa, because Wobbuffet does allow Psychic Pokemon to use their abilities. My opponent decides to only find 1 Darkrai. Interestingly enough, oh, he already had a second one, so that makes sense. We do see a Fighting Fury Belt, we do see an energy, and we do see a Sycamore. So after the Sycamore, my play right here is definitely to Team Skull Grunt to get rid of any energy my opponent might have in his hand, because he already attached and he has a potential. We know 1 card isn't an energy, but there could be 1 or maybe even 2 energy right here that we could play around with. So I'm gonna Team Skull Grunt, and we do hit 2 energy, which is pretty great. 2 Verse Seekers and an EXP Share. So yeah, hitting these 2 energy is really good, and that's all we're gonna do. It's really, I'm not gonna say it's a mindless deck, but it's not the regular deck you would expect to play. Definitely isn't. And we do see a Verse Seeker for the Sycamore. So yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah. Sycamore. We could consider using Team Skull Grunt here once again. That could be an option. My opponent does replace the stadium, which is fine. We weren't getting any mileage out of the Rough Seas just yet. And now we can Delinquent, make our opponent get rid of more resources, which is always good. He has a pretty big hand, but we really don't have a better play. I mean, I could have Lysandered up with Darkrai EX. He gets rid of 2 Ultras and a Silent Lab. The Silent Lab is good to see there, simply because I will be able to... It's 1 less Rough Seas counter, And my opponent had another Sycamore and an N in his hand, so that's okay. A useless Delinquent, but now we have access to Delinquent through Versus Seekers, although we only have 2 Versus Seekers left, which is not ideal. Now we do see an energy on the baby Yveltal. That can be a problem, and I'm gonna end here. These hammers are going to be pretty useless. These ones aren't useless, but that baby Yveltal is very worrisome. I can't believe I lost my switch though. That mulligan was... the mulligans were really bad. I can't get back the switch, I guess. And... okay, I'm gonna try to get rid of... that's 0 out of 2 and 0 out of 3. Nice. I mean, on average you expect 2, but come on. Whiffing all 3 flips? That's pretty bad. Okay. So there's 3 energy, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now I'm gonna remove the energy and I'm gonna pass, and now I'm just gonna watch my opponent play, which really sucks. He immediately has another energy, so all the energy removal we're trying to do is just not going to be useful at all. We are currently stuck with nothing in our hand. Get another water and I can't do anything, and so all my efforts to get back the energy, or to get rid of energy, have now been completely and utterly wasted. This is pretty bad. This is pretty bad. Can't hit the double Puzzle of Time, because if I had hit it, I could get back the switch, and then I could switch and paralyze the Yveltal or knock it out. I'm not sure. This is pretty bad, guys. This is pretty bad. My opponent now has a bajillion energy in play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 170 damage. So 20 short. That seems okay. There's the energy. Ridiculous, guys. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Oh boy. I mean, we haven't lost yet, but all the resources we tried to eliminate for our opponent, now he has them back. Now he actually has them back, pretty much. The double Enhanced Hammer. We're gonna see another energy by my opponent. There's an Ultra Ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He still has 4 energy left. 3, because there's 2 in the discard pile. I personally wouldn't. I would have just kept on attacking with the Yveltal. Here's an Oranguru. And we're probably gonna see a Sycamore here. Very likely we see a Sycamore right now. Yep, there's one. Like, if there was any doubt, he might have the energy already. And I can't Lysander stall anything, because he has the Float Stone, and he has enough energy. Okay, so he chooses to escape rope and also ends. Okay, So that was an interesting turn of events. This might give us a chance. I'm gonna need to flip like a double heads on my recovered crushing hammers though. Oblivion Wing. I'm glad he didn't find the energy though. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 3 energy left. I'm gonna play down this other Lapras. Gonna remove the energy of the Yveltal. And that's it. That's really it. See, I kind of want to attach the energy, but I also don't want to. I'm gonna pass. I don't attach the energy simply because if he does knock me out, okay. How many escape ropes does he play? We know he plays Olympia. We know my opponent plays Olympia. So if I get rid of this energy, he still knocks me out. If I paralyze the Darkrai, he still knocks me out. I would need to have back-to-back attacks, but I don't have that. So, and if I KO Shaman, that doesn't make a difference. If I remove the energy, that also doesn't make that big a difference. Does it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He has 9 energy in play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he would be 20 short potentially. If I end, fine, I'll get rid of the energy. I'm not a fan of doing this, and I'm gonna collect here. Should have promoted the other Lapras though. That was a bad idea of playing. Should have just promoted the other Lapras. I'm incapable of finding 2 Puzzle of Time at the same time. I am incapable. I went goes for the Dark Pulse. Oh, oops, I miscounted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oops. I definitely miscounted right there. And now our only chance is to find a Fighting Fury Belt and to hit the double Puzzle of Time. Oh boy. Okay. So I'm gonna put 2 cards. I need a head slip here. And I need a Fighting Fury Belt to survive the hit. I need a head slip here. Ugh, 4 tails. 4 tails. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. 4 tails. Four tails. 4 tails. Ridiculous. Now I definitely can't win. My opponent even finds the Sycamore off of the end to 1. Gets another energy in play. Ridiculous. And that's it. And that's the game. Even if I am able to to freeze him in the active spot for some reason. I can't KO him afterwards. There's the other Puzzle of Time. How very freaking nice. It was very frustrating. I don't like this deck. I mean, with 2 head flips on the 4 Crushing Hammer we played, there's the Olympia. And to 1 Sycamore, etc, etc. Everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong. And the Wobbuffet start really punished us because we weren't able to collect and find energy and power up and just take a knockout on the Veltal. If we had been able to take a knockout on the Veltal early on, that would have made a huge difference. And the Crushing Hammer head flips would have also made a big difference. But anyways, guys, I'm not a fan of this deck. It's not my style, playing so passively. It's not my style. And then if you don't flip heads, if you don't flip even average heads, average flips, you're not gonna win. You're not going to win. So yeah, there you go. Super short video, I know. I'd rather focus on tomorrow's video regarding Brazil's results and analysis. And yeah, try out the deck. It's a budget deck because it has no Shaman. Laprases are very cheap, the regular versions or the regular arts, so you can try it. I personally don't like it, but feel free, guys. It did get a lot of hype. I hadn't showcased it in the channel. I'm not a fan, but it is a thing. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow for the Brazilian analysis with present day Pablo, because this is past Pablo. This is, I don't know what happened in Brazil Pablo, but tomorrow we will finally get post Brazil Pablo. Thank you guys, leave a like, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.